Go ahead and close your eyes if you can. Smoothing out your forehead. Relaxing the corners of your eyes and your mouth. Unclench your jaw. And rolling your shoulders away from your ears. Together, we're going to take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Pulling up and exhale, letting go out the mouth. Another deep breath in, really filling up your diaphragm, filling up your lungs, holding at the top. And exhale out the mouth, letting go. Gently open up your eyes if you close them. Welcome to Mindful Moves with me, your host, Daniela Jensch. Welcome back to another episode where we just sit and learn and grow together. I am seated here in absolute disbelief because the topic we are speaking about today is all about growth and leaving your comfort zone. And I can't believe that exactly a year ago, I was on one of the most life-changing retreats I've ever been on. It pushed me so far out of my comfort zone. And I've been waiting to do this episode because I really just wanted to do it 1 year reflection. And I'm glad that I waited because exactly 1 year ago, my life looked completely different. There was so much going on, the good, the bad, the ugly. But one of the most beautiful things is that I, on a previous retreat the year before, had met a really lovely breathwork instructor. And Johannes is an amazing breathwork instructor. He is someone who really, I would say he really catapulted me in my healing journey in terms of releasing emotions in a somatic way. So from the body, instead of talking through them, if it's not something you're familiar with, it's a full body release through using the tool breath work, right? So, we start this episode just checking in with our body, pausing, taking 2 breaths. And that's just 2 breaths. And I hope you can feel the difference and the change that can make. So you can imagine a whole retreat dedicated to breath work. So that's how we met. And immediately I just thought, wow, this is amazing. Breath work is everything. And so I joined him. I was really lucky enough to join him on a retreat exactly 1 year ago. And this retreat was based on a beautiful little island called Lady Elliot. And it's just off the coast of Australia. It's just off the coast of Australia and on the Great Barrier Reef. And I had never been, and it was a lifelong dream of mine, so already ticking so many boxes. But this was not just a breathwork retreat. This was a free dive and breathwork retreat. And I did not know what I got myself into until I was there. Number one, the ocean was insane. It was the most beautiful thing. I mean, you've seen the Great Barrier Reef maybe in videos, in photos. It was unreal. So a childhood dream of mine was coming true. And I was a dive instructor for a few years. I love diving. I love the ocean. But free diving is a whole different thing. And I'm so glad that I was introduced to it in the way that I was. And the story will become relevant very, very soon. Basically what had happened was we started off by doing training in the pool. So we did free dive exercises. If you've ever done a free diving course, you know that you do pool exercises first and then you take what you learn and you apply it in the ocean. Already then and there, I realized how much nervous energy I had in my body and how much fear of holding my breath even in the pool. So it was, let's just put it at challenging. It was very difficult. If you've done this before, you'll know that you really need to relax your whole body. You need to relax your diaphragm. You need to push past the fear of not being able to breathe because your body, right, is always it has our best interest at heart. It's always trying to get you to be safe or make sure that you're breathing properly. So what happens is your diaphragm starts making like a pulse. And it's kind of telling you, okay, breathe now, breathe now. But when you're holding these breath holds in the water, nothing's going to happen to you. And you can actually go much further than you think you can. That saying that they say about the brain, it can actually go 40 to 50% more. When you're ready to give up, it can still go more. And so that was so challenging, and I didn't expect it to be. But it was difficult. It was really hard. It was definitely something that was so out of my comfort zone. Then we took to the water, meaning the ocean. And what happens there is that they drop a line down, and you basically, with your instructor, are going up and down this line at varying depths. You also have to equalize. It's a whole process. But to keep a long story short, the first few tries were so difficult. I didn't expect it to be so difficult. I thought this was going to be a breeze. Freediving is the best mirror to life that I have ever experienced. It is all in your mind. It is all up here and coming into your body. That is all it is. There are always going to be crazy environments around you. In this case, there was water around me, and you have to equalize and go down. And the fear often wants to kick you and say, hey, breathe, you need to breathe. Where your body and your intrinsic knowing in your body can actually go much longer than you think you can. But this pushes your comfort zone. And often when we start tapping into fear, like I did on these free dives, when we start experiencing it, we think we need to stop. And I'm here to tell you that you're not supposed to stop. You are always, in my experience and through this retreat, you are going to have a breakdown before you have the breakthrough. But you're never going to get to the breakthrough if you live the same day over and over again. This threshold that we've learned as humans, I think we forgot that we are designed by nature to be doing amazing things. Like when you're going on a free dive retreat, or when you're on a mountain and it's quite steep and that fear begins to kick in. That is what your body was created to do in terms of feeling fear. But because we've shrunk down our environment to make ourselves so comfortable, think about how we live, think about how convenient everything is. You can order something off your phone, within a day it's there. You could order food off your phone, within minutes it's there. Instant gratification is a huge thing in our immediate environment, and it makes us feel super comfortable. We almost don't have to lift a finger if you are lucky enough to live that life. And what this made me realize is that we are built and capable for so much more than we could possibly ever imagine. But if you stay in that environment, in that keeping you small environment, you won't be able to build that resilience and feel that resistance and feel that fear pop up and then overcome it. Like they say, when you have a goldfish in a small tank, the goldfish is going to stay that size. It's going to stay small. If you put a goldfish into a giant tank, the goldfish is going to be able to grow much, much bigger. And we humans are so similar. If you are going to be put into a small environment where you're always just going to play small because you feel safe and your little tank that you live in, it might only be the size of a football, but you feel super safe in there because you know it. Meanwhile, if you were put into a river or a body of water or even just a bigger tank, you would find so much there. You would find so much adventure, so much new, so much amazing beauty around you, but you'll never know because you'll be too scared. You'll be too scared to go there. That's why we stay in our tiny tanks. And this retreat was the most amazing reminder for me, because I have built a beautiful life over the last few years. I absolutely adore my life. During that time, though, I was going through a very difficult time, and I really was like, I don't know if I can push through these emotions. These are difficult. I didn't really want to feel how I was feeling. I kind of just wanted to avoid it. And this retreat just brought me back to the center of why I love retreats, why I love this work. And that is a reminder that you can overcome almost anything. Everything that you think you can't overcome, you can. And you'll probably do it 100 times better than you ever thought. But if you're not reminded of these moments, if I hadn't gone into this retreat and I hadn't experienced this resistance, because oh my, that feeling is overwhelming. When your whole body says, stop, abort this mission, let's go, we can't do this. and you overcome that with your mental strength and resilience. And afterwards, and even if you, I mean, I had a cry right over there in the ocean because I got so frustrated and I couldn't do it. And I was so frustrated. And so often we just want to give up. And honestly, that's where you need to realize how far you've come. I had to remind myself, I've already gotten down to a certain depth. That's amazing. I'm out here in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef, where people probably, I dreamt my whole life of going there, and I'd made it there. I was on a retreat. I was doing breath work. I was facing my inside world, which a lot of us avoid. I was already winning. But to put this pressure on yourself to think, okay, I need to be the best, that's also where the trick comes in, right? I think that it's so important to push ourselves beyond our limits and beyond our comfort zone. But in the same very breath, it is so important to realize and acknowledge that you are doing that, and acknowledge that you are taking steps forward. Just because your steps don't look like someone else's, and someone else might go dive down to 30 meters on one single breath and you get to 10, that's okay. It doesn't need to look the same. The point is that they are both going in the same direction. And this is something I had to remind myself then and there. I had to really hold myself and say, this is how far you got, but keep pushing. Don't give up now. Now's not the time to give up. And I think that we can all take something, well, I take from this every day. I've been on many retreats and they've all changed me and helped me in a different way. And this one just taught me that I can do hard things. I'm resilient, and therefore I can face day-to-day things much easier. It's like that joke that goes around that says, my nervous system was built to fight or run away from bears, but now it gets activated when I get an email from my boss. And honestly, I used to laugh at that, but it's so true. It is so true. Your nervous system was designed to protect you. But because our environments have shrunk down to a certain size, like I keep saying, and we don't challenge ourselves and we don't push ourselves beyond our limits, we get very comfortable in this zone, and then our brain and our nervous system finds the threats, in quotation marks, around us. And those threats might not even be so bad, because your brain doesn't know anything else at the moment. So if you're able to push yourself, now I'm not saying you need to go on a free dive retreat, because I understand that that's not everybody's cup of tea. But you can do small things in your day to day. You could join a new group. Maybe you've been wanting to do a pottery class and you want to be in a group environment in a setting. Do it, join it. It might not feel big to other people, and that's okay. It just has to feel like a challenge to you. My example is that I go for an ocean swim every morning, and I live by the Atlantic Ocean, so it's cold. And I love to do this in the morning, especially because when you have that mental win of doing something that you don't particularly want to do, because the feeling before is, I don't want to get in this cold water. But the amazing feeling afterwards is why you keep coming back. But because we've become so comfortable in our lives, sometimes doing hard things feels a little bit annoying, like, I don't want to do this right now. But I do it every day. I try to do it absolutely every day. And the reason being is because I start the day with a mental win of something that I wouldn't choose to do the moment I wake up, but I do anyways. And then I stick to my word and I stick to my promise. And that's why I will continue to keep growing in that way. I want to push myself out of my environments. The first time I ever posted a video here, it was so out of my comfort zone. I do not like being perceived. I genuinely used to hate it. I used to hate going in anywhere where people could watch me. But then I learned, you know what, at the end of the day, if this is an avenue to reach people, who am I to not push myself and at least try? And I know that it doesn't resonate with everybody. I know that everyone has their level, but you can start with whatever you can. Pick something. It doesn't have to be the hardest thing on your list, but maybe start by making a list. Maybe start by writing a bucket list, or wishes that you want to do, or adventures you want to go on, things you want to try. Make a list. And then start small. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be once a month, once a year, whatever you feel comfortable with. But the point being is, You can do hard things, and the sooner you teach your brain that you can, and the sooner, because our brain only works off proof. It needs data, it needs repetition. So how you teach your brain that you can do hard things is by doing hard things repetitively and showing it. And then there's evidence, and your brain will say, oh, I don't feel like doing this, but you know what? I've done it every day for 6 months, so it's not really a choice at this point. Your brain will look back at the evidence. This is how you teach yourself. And I've mentioned this in the confidence episode. Becoming an unbreakable human being is just showing up for yourself and trying to push past that resistance, because I think that it limits us. You can, if you're comfortable in your life and you don't want to change anything, that is totally okay. But this episode is for the people who do. The people who do want to experience a different life, the people who want to experience something different, to feel a different way, to actually feel and not be numb to the beautiful world around us. And if you want that, then all you need to do, genuinely, is start showing up for yourself in the sense of pushing your comfort zone a little bit and a little bit every day. I love the idea of becoming a better us, 1% every day, because 1% better than yesterday doesn't feel so unachievable. It feels like you can do it. And so with these tiny things, just try something new, push yourself out of your comfort zone. You don't have to show the world, you just need to show you. It is so important that you remember these two go hand in hand. Push yourself, push your comfort zone, build pushing past resistance. But most importantly, do not compare yourself to anybody on this journey. Because I can guarantee you, if you start comparing yourself, if let's say you start ice plunges, or you want to do sauna because it's very good for your cardiovascular health. So you go twice a week to sauna. Then you meet someone in the sauna who says, yeah, actually you have to go 4 or 6 times a week to see any benefits. Stop right there. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. You can work yourself up to any point. The point is that you are building a deep, deep sense of confidence within yourself, and you are therefore expanding your environment. And through expanding your environment, you are expanding your experiences. And through expanding your experiences, you are growing. And when you grow, do you not think that that is a huge part of life? Do you know how amazing it feels to push past resistance and step into growth? It is probably one of the best feelings in the world. And the best part is it's not a momentary bliss. It's this deep feeling that is within you that carries out, where we have a lot of, like I said, quick fixes. This is a slow burn. It's a slow burning feeling that sticks with you, and it kind of just becomes part of you. And that's why I love it. And so if you take anything from this episode, I hope you reflect, maybe think about a year back, like I've just done, right? I've reflected on a retreat I did 1 year ago. Maybe pause and think about anything in the last year that has pushed you out of your comfort zone. Can you think of anything? And if you can, was that enough for you? Do you think that you can go into this year and challenge yourself to do something else? And it has to be for you. A challenge for yourself to push yourself a little bit beyond your comfort zone, because beyond the comfort zone is the most beautiful growth. And I truly do want every human to experience it, because it feels amazing. And this long-lasting change is a huge part of your character building, right? We're trying to, well, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I am trying to build a character that I'm proud of, a character that I believe in, a character that I know I've done everything that I want to do on this earth in my limited time. That's what I'm trying to do. So if you're trying to do that, then take a moment, reflect on your last year. Whatever you come up with on the list that you're proud of, maybe you've actually done absolutely nothing since 1 year ago. Maybe you've done nothing to challenge yourself. That's okay. Don't judge yourself. Take a moment though and say, what do I want to integrate into this year, so that February of 2026, when I reflect, I can truly say, wow, I really pushed myself here, here, and here. So remember, the light that you're constantly seeking outside of yourself is just waiting to be acknowledged within. Have a beautiful week. See you next week. Bye.